What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode number 20 of the Courtside podcast. Happy Monday. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe, staying warm. To all my 2024 graduates out there, congratulations on finishing high school. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you guys. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for you. But anyway, in today's video, we're going to be recapping games 4 through 5 of the conference finals, as well as previewing the NBA finals and a whole lot more. But before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn that post notification bell, like this video, and comment down below your finals predictions. And without further ado, let's get this party started. Woo. All right, but before we get into the games, I'd say, like, before we get into everything, I just want to take a brief moment of silence for the passing of Bill Walton, who passed away last week. I know, like, it was last week. I'm sorry. Like I told you in the previous episode, I was gonna be out of town. But anyway, I just want to hold a moment of silence for Bill. You know, thank you. Now before we get into discussing, like, recapping games for the conference finals, I want to talk a little bit about Bill Walton. You know, now I didn't get a chance to watch Bill Walton when he was playing. He played for the Blazers, he played for the Celtics. I've always heard great things about him. He is probably one of my favorite color commentators. One of my favorite Bill Walton color commentating games, actually, believe it or not, was when he called the Blazers Warriors game. I believe it was 2017-18 season. It was game 2 of the regular season. It was on Valentine's Day. And for that game, actually, that was the game where KD, Kevin Durant, scored his first 50-point game as a Golden State Warrior. And yeah, I think it was when KD had 50 points, his first ever doing that in a Warriors uniform. And then Dame had 44 points. I remember watching that game as a young high school student because I was watching the ESPN broadcasts. And every single time there was a big play, I always hear Bill Walton saying, "Look at that play from Kevin Durant. He's such a brilliant thinker." And I remember him talking about Dame, like he went absolutely crazy when I think Dame hit like 3 or 4 threes in a row. Um, but yeah, it's really sad to hear, like, an NBA legend, first Bill Russell in the summer of 2022. Now it's Bill Walton. Like, this shit's sad, man. This is really sad. I'm praying for his family, to his son Luke, who's a coach in the NBA, who's an assistant coach in the NBA. Praying for his family, his kids, everyone who had a relationship with Bill Walton. And it will really mean a lot to me if you guys like this video, because one like equals one support Bill Walton and his family. So yeah, rest in peace to, probably, in my opinion, I know I might sound crazy for this, but probably one of the best OG Blazers in the history of the Blazers. I know we had Dame, we had LaMarcus Aldridge, but Bill Walton brought us the championship, folks. In fact, I'm wearing my Blazers shirt right now. Fun fact now. But anyway, let's dive into today's business. All right, so keeping us awaiting is the Celtics and the Pacers, game 4 of the conference finals. Not gonna lie, this game, I watched a little bit of this game. I didn't get a chance to watch a ton of the conference finals. A little disclaimer out there, I didn't get a chance to watch it, because I was, like, really busy. But peeking at the Celtics box score, Jason Tatum had 26 points. He had 13 rebounds, 8 assists, a really good, solid game. I know he shot 3-11 from the field, but anytime you could get, like, more than 5 assists in a game, like, you're playing winning basketball. Like, that's what I like to see. And then peeking at the others, Drew Holiday had 17 points. Derek White had 16 points. Derek White made a big shot. I ain't gonna lie, I really thought that shot wasn't going in, but hey, to quote the great Stacey King, I know he's not dead, but he always says this all the time: big time players make big time plays, and that right there, folks, was a big time play. And then their bench, I mean, their bench was all right. You know, Peyton Pritchard at five and Sam Hauser at five as well. Peak at the Pacers side of things, they fought hard. I gotta give them props. They fought hard. Like Chuck said, if you haven't seen it, he said like the Pacers fought hard in the series, but in the end, the better team won. As you can see, Andrew Nemward, who looks amazing, had 24 points. Pascal Siakam had 19 points to go with 10 rebounds. Oh yeah, Andrew Nemward 10 assists. I forgot about that. But yeah, and then Aaron Nesmith had 14 points. Miles Turner had 8 points. And their bench, Obi Toppin had 12, and TJ McConnell had 15. Great season by Indiana. I think they're going to get better and better. I think they should run back with the screw. I think they should get another player. I don't know who, but this was a very good season for the Pacers. Very good season. Anyway, peeking on the next set of games, we had the Timberwolves and um, what is it? I gotta look this up. All right, we had the Timberwolves and the Mavs game four. Not gonna lie, this game was actually like really fun to watch. Like I said, I didn't watch a ton of it, but I watched like the ending of this game. This game was fun as hell. But peeking at the Timberwolves side of things, Karl Anthony Towns had 25 points. I think he made like four threes in a row, which is unbelievable. Anthony Edwards had 29 points, but he had 10 rebounds and 9 assists, a near triple double. Mike Conley had 14 points. Rudy Gobert gave him 13 points and 10 rebounds. And then Jane McDaniels had 10 points. And then like Naz Reid and Nikhil Alexander Walker each had 6 points. Peeking at the Mavs side of things, PJ Washington had 10 points, 5 rebounds. Daniel Gafford, who stepped in for the injured Derek Lively, had 12 points. He had 8 rebounds. Kyrie had 16. Luka had 28, but he had a double-double with 15 points and 10 rebounds. And Jalen Hardy, I think his name is. Jalen Hardy went nuts. He had 13 points. And then like I think when Minnesota scored in this game, like Jalen Hardy came right back and said, "Hey, I can one up you. I'll score here." But yeah, that was a very good game from the Timberwolves. And moving forward, moving on to the next game, we have oh no, not Anthony Edwards box. Sorry. Um, okay, let's see here. We had the Mavs and the Timberwolves game five. Actually, believe it or not, this was the Mavs won by 21, 124 to 103. Again, the Mavs won this game. Peeking at the Mavs side of things, PJ Washington 12 points. Daniel Gafford had a solid 11 points, 9 rebounds. I forgot to mention PJ Washington also had 7 rebounds in this game, which is great. Kyrie had Daniel Gafford had 11 points. Kyrie and Luka went crazy with 36 points each. But Luka had 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Very good game. And then for bench, Derek Lively, who missed last game, like I said, with that injured neck. Thankfully, he's okay. He had 9 points with 8 rebounds. And Jalen Hardy, like I said, had 7 points in 8 minutes. Peeking at the Timberwolves side of things, honestly, this was a really bad game for the Timberwolves all around. If you look at it, like JD McDaniels had 8 points, Rudy Gobert had 9, Mike Conley had 7, Karl Anthony Towns had 28 points, but 12 rebounds, but shot 9 of 20 from the field, 1 of 6 from three. And then Anthony Edwards, although he played well, he had 28 points. So, what are your guys' biggest takeaways from this game? I know it was recently. It was about a couple weeks ago. I apologize for that. Like I said, I've been on vacation, and whatnot. So, yeah. So now let's talk about the Indiana Pacers. All right, because like their season came to an end last week, and I want to talk a little bit about them just because, like, look, if you guys remember, I think it was back in like October-ish. I said this team was a very solid team. All right, like I think, as maybe you guys know, I became a Tyrese Halliburton fan this year. I really like the team as a whole. Um, I thought Pascal Siakam was a great addition to the trade deadline. Miles Turner's always been like a top 10 center in my opinion. Uh, but look, I think this team is great. I think this team is should be, if I have to put them on my tiers, I think they're a playoff contender. Like they, to me, match up well with certain teams in the East. All right, now granted, majority of the East players were hurt this year. You know, like Milwaukee was banged up, New York was banged up, Philly was banged up, Cleveland was banged up, Miami was banged up. Like, it is what it is. But like, I'll say this: like Indiana, like Pacers fans, hats off to you guys. Like, you guys fought extremely hard in this series against Boston. You pushed Boston to the freaking brink when no one else could. Like, yeah, I know Indiana got swept, but if you look at those games were close. It's just that Indiana, they were gassed, But hey, props to Indiana. I think I'm gonna make this right now on camera. They're gonna be a top four seed next year. I'm booking it right now. As of June, was it June 3rd, 2024? The Indiana Pacers are going to be a top four seed for this upcoming season. Anyway, another team that we have to talk about a little bit is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They had a great season. I think I said this team was a playoff contender heading into this year. I'm not entirely sure. I have to double check the footage, but I said this team was a playoff contender. As maybe you guys know, I love Anthony Edwards. Like I said this, I think a couple episodes ago. I think when it was like episode 12 or something. Like, I know this sounds really weird, but like I had to say it. But Anthony Edwards is the type of guy that you want to get drinks with. Like, he seems like such a chill dude. He is funny. Like, I remember watching a clip on YouTube of what's his name, Cat, telling Paul George on Paul George's podcast saying they wanted to go. They were in Denver. They wanted to get Insomnia cookies, and then Ant was just like trolling Cat the entire time because I think I'm not entirely sure because I haven't been there, but Insomnia Cookies was next to where the Minnesota Timberwolves were staying in their hotel. It was like 3 minutes away, and Cat was saying, "Hey, Ant, it doesn't take that long to get Insomnia Cookies." And then Ant was like, "Oh yeah, I know that. I was just fucking with you." So it was absolutely hilarious. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. It is a very funny clip on YouTube. It is probably the funniest like YouTube clip I've seen. I've seen a lot of YouTube clips. That one was pretty funny. But yeah, hey, great season by the Timberwolves. You guys fought hard every single night. I gotta give you major props because I kind of shit on you guys because I thought when y'all played Phoenix that was gonna be a bad matchup. But you know, it is what it is. Minnesota beat them. I'm really happy for them that they made this far. Although I do worry what they're going to do now because I don't think they have any of their draft picks. Um, they're about to they're financially they're about to get. And I'm sorry for swearing. They're about to get fucked because of Rudy Gobert's contract, Karl Anthony Towns' contract, Anthony Edwards' contract, like and a bunch of other players. Like I think it reaches like $200 million in cap space. So in other words, like yikes. So we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. But like I said, man, Timberwolves, great season, great like individual season by Anthony Edwards. I think Anthony Edwards, to me, and hear me on this, hear me on this, is what Trevor Lawrence should have done this upcoming season in the NFL. If you guys don't remember last season, Trevor Lawrence had a really solid year in the NFL for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then in that 2023 offseason, everyone was saying Trevor Lawrence is a dark horse MVP candidate. Trevor Lawrence should be getting should take another leap step. To me, excuse me, that is what Anthony Edwards was. I'm not saying Anthony Edwards is Trevor Lawrence. I'm saying in terms of like a leap per se, that's what I thought Trevor Lawrence was going to do. Even though like they're different sports. But anyway, hats off to you, Timberwolves. You guys played extremely well. You guys were amazing. Then we'd see what the team looks like next year. I think this team's going to be very different. But hey, only time will tell. Which brings me to my next topic. And that is talking about the Boston Celtics slander across the media. Like everywhere I go, like ESPN, Fox Sports, Undisputed, First Things First, Speak, First take, even get up. NBA today. Like all I see on these shows is Boston had the easiest road to the playoffs, or like Boston hasn't been tested yet. Oh, Boston is like why are we saying that Boston should be the heavy favorite? And I want to say, a couple things about that because it honestly like really gets sick to my stomach seeing that because I personally, if you guys don't know, I used to be a huge Celtics fan when I was a kid. I still like the Celtics to this day as a 21-year-old, but like not as much as I like them. Like when they had Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo, Paul Pierce, like during when me and my brother were kids, basically. But like I don't know why you guys are shitting on this team. Like yeah, did they have the easiest road to the playoffs? Yes. But just because they have the easiest road doesn't mean you have to, and I'm sorry for saying these words to all my family, my extended family, doesn't mean you have to fucking shit on them every single fucking time. Like I go on because like usually here in like when I'm living in South Korea, I usually like to watch the sports news and like tell my brother, like, hey, this is what I learned today on the sports news. I think he would probably if I told him like, oh, they were talking about the Boston Celtics, how they the easiest road. He's gonna be like, let me guess, the media slandering the Celtics again. Like it's not even funny. All right. Did they have the easiest road? Yes, they did. All right. But you can't solely blame them for like having the easiest road. All right. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm not a diehard Celtics fan. Like I said, I'm not a diehard Celtics fan like I was when me and my brother were kids. But look, even if Giannis, Dane, Chris, as in Chris Middleton, Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, um, Donovan Mitchell, even if they were Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, even when they were all healthy, all those guys were healthy, I still think Boston was going to win. Now, I did think the series was going to be longer just because they both have very good players on their team. Like, obviously, Milwaukee, you got Giannis, you got Dame Dalla. New York, you got Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, who played like he was Steph Curry this year in the playoffs. Josh Hart, Julius Randle, OG Anunoby for the Knicks, Tyrese Halliburton for the Pacers, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo for the Miami Heat, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid for the Sixers. Like I could go on and on and on, but stop shitting on this team for saying, oh, they had the easiest road in the playoffs. All right, it's fucking annoying. Just appreciate the fact that they're in the fucking finals. And also, I want to say this because I brought this up last episode. I am so fucking tired of the Jason Tatum slander in the media. All right. Is he like in this aspect, like Anthony Davis last year in the postseason? Give you one good game, give you one bad game. In other words, inconsistent. Yes. But guess what? He is a fucking good player. All right. And I can't believe I have to say this. All right. The Celtics have other guys that they can rely on. All right. You saw last week, Jaylen Brown was the Eastern Conference MVP. All right. Jaylen Brown. Okay. They got Derek White, who can, when he's hot, he's freaking hot. You got Drew fucking Holiday, one of the best, if not the best, shutdown defender in the NBA. All right. You got Al Horford, who, when they played Cleveland, he was like playing like the old Al Horford. Okay? Like they have guys that they can throw out that can give you 20. All right? Now, one more point. Before I get into my finals picks. I want to also talk about the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum like rumors saying like should they break them up? Should they blow them up? I watched a clip of all the of Jaylen Brown on All the Smoke podcast, Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, and I think Jaylen was talking about his relationship with Jason Tatum, and Jaylen said like we're really good team, we're really good friends, like even off the court. Like I think Jaylen said, his family takes care of Deuce, Jason Tatum's son, sometimes whenever they're in town. Like, it really bugs me to see the media still talking about them, saying they should like break them apart, you know, Like they're like in this aspect, like Dame and CJ, they should just blow it up. They shouldn't, right? This team, they've been to the Eastern Conference Finals. This team, like Jalen and Jason together, almost not. What is it? They've been together what 2017 to 2024. They've been together for 7 years. Let me do some quick math here. They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals, like I think 5 or 6 out of the 7 times they've been teammates. Like that is ridiculous. Like seriously, that is like ridiculous. That's a ridiculous stat that they've been in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, I know like some of them was due to other like weird things, but like picture like the Celtics without Jason Tatum or without Jalen Brown. Is that a good team? Like, let's say Jalen gets traded or Jason Tatum is sidelined and he's done for the season. That team would have been bounced early in the playoffs if one of them was out. So stop coming up with these stupid ass questions saying, should they break them up? Now, obviously, this upcoming finals thing is going to determine if they should break them up. But if they don't, quit making it like it's a big headline. All right. It's so annoying because I love both of them. I love Jalen Brown. I love Jason Tatum. All right. But to have the audacity to say, should they break them up is so annoying. All right. You can tell that they are really good teammates. All right. Yeah, they might have like get on each other's ass for like, hey, why didn't you make this shot? Or like, why didn't you why didn't you go outside on that man right there? But that's what teammates are. All right. They're bros on the court, and they're like brothers on the court, and they're brothers also off the court. So please, for the love of God, stop asking the question, should they break up Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum? Because I swear to God, and granted, I don't work for ESPN, but if I see on my YouTube recommendation one more freaking clip, whether it's first take, get up or undisputed, saying should they break up Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, I'm gonna freaking lose it because I don't think they should break it up. And like plus, like it's like it doesn't even seem right, you know. Like name me like if you exclude like I don't know who was it, Russ and like KD when they were on the Thunder back when me and my brother were kids. Like name me a duo that's made it that I think that far in the playoffs. Like they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals 5 out of the 7 times they were teammates. Let me say that again. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals 5 out of the 7 times they've been together as teams. All right. 2017-18, Jalen's sophomore year, Jason's freshman year. Made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, lost to Cleveland. Yeah, that was understandable. Braun, it was a metahuman and whatnot. 2018-19 was a very like weird year, but they found a way. They got bounced in the second round. 2019-20, I'm going to include the bubble. Made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, where no one said they were going to make it. I think I watched a little bit of ESPN. I don't think anyone was, excuse me, I don't think anyone was saying they were going to make it to the conference. They were going to make it to the conference finals. Like when you think of the conference finals, you thought like a Milwaukee, a Philly, a Toronto, you know. So yeah, 2020 to 21, I think it was, got bounced in the first round. Now, granted, Jalen I think was hurt during that playoff run, and they got lower sin. They matched up with Brooklyn. Like when they had KD, Harden, and Kyrie, and like anytime you have those three, and like you don't have a shutdown defender on your team, you're probably pretty sweet. All right, next year, 21-22, Jalen and Jason are both healthy. They make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals and then the NBA Finals, which then they lose to the Golden State Warriors in the finals. All right, this past season, 21, what was it, 22-23, make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and got bounced by Miami. Now, granted, I don't know if this was leaked in the footage, but I said like if any, I told this to like Suhan, my brother Suhan during dinner one night. If any team in the East draws Miami in the first round, whether you're Boston, Milwaukee, and Philly, because I think those were the top three teams heading into that postseason, you're practically like screwed. Because Miami, as you guys know, Miami's a very team that's gonna punch you in the mouth. They're gonna push you to the brim. And then this season, they make it all the way to the NBA Finals. Yeah, I know they had the easiest path, but this duo loves playing with each other. All right. So for all people out there trying to get clicks, stop saying should they break them up. All right. Now we have to see what happens this upcoming finals trip because this is obviously a big thing because if they don't win it, when are they going to win it? Because they don't have a lot of time. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section on what your thoughts are about the Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, like blow it up scenario in the media. Should they break them up or should they still stay together? Let me know in the comment section below. But anyway, our next topic is talking about the NBA Finals because that one is coming up. Actually, it's coming up in a couple of days. Actually, um, it's the Mavs, Celtics, two very good teams, very good storylines. Kyrie returning back to Boston. Kristaps playing against Dallas. Very, very good matchup. Very good matchup. Um, so here are the keys for the Mavs to beat Boston in the conference finals. First thing is you like I think this is like probably the obvious one. You gotta have Kyrie and Luka go crazy. Like they gotta go crazy in that series in order for them to win the series. I also think, personally, I do think Dallas is going to need another guy to step up. Like I think because when you look at Dallas, like they're out this postseason, PJ Washington in that OKC series, I'm going to trace it back a little bit, was probably their most like statistically was one of their best players in that series against OKC. You're going to need another guy to step up. Like you need a guy like Derek Lively, for example, Daniel Gafford, to give you 15 points, but he needs 15 points consistent. Like they need what the Lakers, I think, should have done. I think in the bubble, I don't know if they did. So let me know in the comments if they did or not. But they need somebody, the Lakers. They need to pull like what the Lakers did, which is you gotta need a third guy that can give you like 15 to 20 a night. You know, because if you rely on Luka and Kyrie, I'm not saying it's gonna happen or not. We'll see. They're gonna get gassed. And then like they start playing a little bit clumsy. And that's when Boston is gonna take advantage of that. So I think if I'm Dallas, you gotta figure out a way to get someone other than like Luka and Kyrie the ball. Maybe Derek Lively, Derek Jones Jr. stepped up. But that guy, whoever that third guy is, has to play consistency in order to win the series. The next thing I think Dallas needs to do is they got to pull what I thought, and I know they got bounced early. I thought they should do Dallas defensively. Should have done what Phoenix if Phoenix matched up with Denver this year, which is you got to take one of them out. You got to take either Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum out of the game defensively, because like I know they're two different teams, but like in this aspect, I said when the Suns got Bradley Beal last summer that now if they play up against Denver, Denver's gonna have to figure out who do they want to shut down. Do they want to shut down Booker and Beal and let KD go crazy, or should they shut Booker and KD and let Beal go crazy, or third option, shut down Durant and Beal and let Booker go crazy? Like if all three of them go crazy, you're asking for an ass whooping. If that makes sense. I know it sounds really complicated, and I know the Phoenix got bounced early and Denver got eliminated in the second round, but basically, like Dallas has to figure out a way to shut down either Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, so they let the other guy go crazy. Because if you let both of them go crazy, I don't care if Luka drops 40. or Kyrie and Luka drop like 70 combined points. Let's face it, you're not beating Boston. All right. So that's what I think Dallas needs to. They got to figure out who they want to shut down. Should they shut down Jalen or Jason? And also, they got to figure out something to do with Drew. They got to figure out something to do with Derek White because I think Derek White is probably like Derek White has played a hell of a like playoffs this year. Like he's played really well this postseason. So that's I think the key for Dallas. As far as Boston side things, you cannot play cute. I've been saying that all postseason. I don't know if I said last round, but like you cannot play cute. If I'm Joe Mazzulla, I'm telling my team right now, hey, let's treat Dallas like they're Denver, like they're Minnesota and OKC in the aspect of they're a top seed, and we need to take this team seriously. Now, obviously, the X factors in the series is Kristaps Porzingis. I think I heard someone Kristaps practice today. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't check, but if I'm Boston, you got to get Kristaps Porzingis going because he is the ultimate X factor in this series. Because if Kristaps is it plays well, like Boston is an absolute juggernaut. All right, and I think if Kristaps is healthy, like he is gonna, he's gonna have to like he's gonna make some noise. So I think Boston, they gotta figure out a way to get Kristaps Porzingis going. If I'm Joe Mazzulla, I'm putting on if he's playing game one, I'm putting on minutes restriction. You do not want to pull what the Warriors did with KD back in 2019, and it still like haunts me to this day because many of you guys know I'm a KD fan. For those that didn't know, KD came back in Game 5 in the 2019 Finals. Thought he played well. Then, dance of a snap later, he's on the ground holding his Achilles. So if I'm Joe Mazzulla, I'm putting him on minutes restriction. All right, I'm saying letting Kristaps play for the first, like let's say 5-6 minutes in the first quarter, come back in the second quarter, so just have him ready, and then if it's closing time, let him play in the closing time. But you got to put him on minutes restriction. Secondly, you got to figure out a way to shut. You got to do what I said, what Dallas should do. You got to shut down either Kyrie or Luka. Now, Luka, like I've been saying, Luka is a metahuman. All right, he is an alien. For those that don't know what that means, all right, he's an absolute demon. He's gonna drop 30. But if I'm Drew Holiday, if I'm Derek White, I'm telling Luka right now, hey, you're a great player. You're a great freaking player. But if you want to get 30, if you want to get 40 on our 40 to win a game, you're gonna have to work for that. So, and then I think Drew's gonna lock down Kyrie. I think Derek White's gonna shut down Luka. Or I think they should put Drew on Luka because I think Drew, like I said, is one of the best shutdown defenders in the league, and then Derek on Kyrie, and then I think they should switch because I think they're both very good defenders. Drew, Derek, Jason, and Jalen. My point is, you gotta make them work for their 30 or their 40 piece. So those are my keys. As for now, who is my Kieran Francis Lee's NBA Finals predictions? Like, what was my final pick? My final pick. I look at my phone right now. Boston's favored to win the series by 6.5 points to win game one. Granted, it's game one, but still. But anyway, who do I think is going to win this year? And I've seen everywhere. Everyone is picking Dallas to win the series. Like, it's not even funny. Like, even my guy, Tim Legler on ESPN, who I absolutely love, is rooting for Dallas. This series is probably going to be the most fun series I think I'm going to watch in a long time. And that's saying a lot considering I've been watching the NBA, like I said, majority of my life. With that being said, I think Dallas, they have an unbelievable run playing against the Clippers, OKC, Minnesota, and now Boston. And then Boston, they played Miami, Cleveland, and Indiana. With that said, Dallas, you played a hell of a series. You guys were battle tested. You guys fought hard. Like when I watched Dallas, I learned that this team fights hard every single night. They're like, we're gonna make you work. All right, we're not going down without a fight. But with that said, To quote the great Stoic the Vest from How to Train Your Dragon once, it all ends today. I am taking the Boston Celtics to win this series. I just think Boston, they're ready. I think they're ready to hang banner 18. Jalen is hungry. Jason is hungry. Al Horford is hungry. Drew wants to get that second ring. Derek wants to get his first ring. Joe Mazzulla has bounced back. Kristaps wants to get a ring. I think Boston takes it this year, but I think Dallas is going to make Boston work. Obviously, like I said, Dallas, they fought hard, but I'm going to take Boston to win this series. I am going to take, Keenan Francis Lee, is going to take this Boston Celtics to win the 2024 NBA title in 6 games. So what do you guys think? Let me know, who do you think is going to win the series? Do you have Dallas? Do you have Boston? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, so our final activity of the night is something that I actually have wanted to do on this channel for quite a while, because I feel like a lot of you guys have been asking me to do this for quite a while now, and that is give you guys my favorite player on every single team. Because I feel like a lot of people actually don't know I really support this player. Like they think of the big names, but like these are the guys that I actually like on these teams as of right now. So as of June 3rd, 2024, as of there's no trades, no like signings from a new player to a new team and all that stuff. This is what the roster looks like as of right now. So here we go. I have the tier list actually up here. So yeah, so it's the tier is my favorite NBA player on this team at this very moment. So starting off, we got the Washington Wizards. My favorite player in the Wizards right now has to be Corey Kispert. I used to be a huge Jordan Poole fan, but then Jordan Poole got a reality check. Pains me to say that because I really love Jordan Poole. I really loved him on the Warriors, but like something happened to him, and he hasn't been the same since. Peeking at next up, we got the Grizzlies. Hold on, we got the Grizzlies. Grizzlies, I think it's safe to say go Ja or maybe Triple J. I love Marcus Smart on that team, but I think Ja is the safer bet just because he's electric. When he's healthy, he's an absolute demon when he's healthy. Very explosive. Like a young Derrick Rose. You know, and I think the Grizzlies are gonna come back with some things. Moving on, we got the Hawks. Trae Young. I like I know he's like considered, sorry for saying this, a douche, but like I love his game. I love like him him shooting the three ball is like so fun to watch. He's a very good playmaker. He's a top 10 point guard in my eyes. But yeah, I gotta go Trae Young. Up next, we got the Spurs. Victor Wemby. Wemby. I love Wemby. He to me, granted, he was a rookie this past season. He's a metahuman. I'm ready to say right now, he's a metahuman right now. Just because I love how he plays. Like he's an absolute force. Do you know that this guy had 10 blocks in a single game? That's crazy. Moving on, we got the Nets. Oh God, the Nets. The Nets. God, who do I like on the Nets? I guess I go Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges or what's his name? He plays for those. Mikal Bridges or Cam Johnson. I love Mikal Bridges though. I think he seems like a really cool dude. And he loves Chipotle. And as many of you guys know, I love Chipotle. Next up, let's do this one here. We got the Clippers. Am I being weird in saying Russ? Like I love Russ. Like I obviously love Paul George. Like I love Paul George. I love Russ. Um, but like Russ or Paul George for me. I love both of them. I love Russ because Russ is like one of my favorite players to watch. I just love how he hustles, how he like brings it every night. Paul George is like seems like a really chill and relaxed dude. Up next, we got the Boston Celtics. Oh man. Can I say they're starting five? Like Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford as their sixth man. Nah, I'm kidding. Uh, as a kid, I always said Al Horford because Al's my guy. But now I'm gonna say either Jason Tatum or Al Horford. Up next, we got the Lakers. I think the safer bet is LeBron. Um, I have a love-hate relationship with the guy, but hey, like as my mom always says, LeBron's our guys, and not to mention Braun has the same birthday as me. So yeah. Next up, we got the Suns. Oh yeah. I mean, Grant is a different uniform. Grant, I have his jersey, Kevin Durant. I like KD. I love Book. I love Brad Beal. Like I love the big three. I love Nurkic. Still love him to this day, even though he's no longer in the Blazers. But hey, love to see it. Up next, we got the Hornets. Lamelo, Lamelo, and Brandon Miller. Lamelo, Brandon Miller. I love Lamelo's passing. You know, and like Brandon Miller, I think is gonna be a great player in the upcoming years. Up next, we got Dallas. The safe bet is Luca. But I like Luca. I love how he plays, but I just wish he stopped complaining the refs. You know, Granted, like he is a very like tough player. He's like Russ in the aspect of he's gonna fight every single night. But like I wish he's just stopped complaining. Moving on, we got the Bulls. Zach LaVine. I love Zach LaVine. I'm a huge Zach LaVine guy. He's like probably one of the best players on the Bulls. I love DeMar. I love DeMar DeRozan. Alex Cruz was my guy. I love Alex Cruz. So there's a reason why he's nicknamed headband Mamba. I love Alex Caruso. Up next, we got the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic. Best player in the world. Seems like a really chill dude. Like I remember watching his press conference. I think when they played Minnesota game one this year, when I think a reporter asked him like, Nikola, like, what do you think? What's it gonna take for you guys to bounce back? And like I think it was game two or game three. He's like, I don't know, just like create a duplicate cone on me. Like that shit was funny as hell. Next up, we got the Cavs. Right now, I would go Donovan Mitchell. I love Donovan Mitchell. I think he's a great player. I think he's a top 10, top 15 player in this league. I love Jared Allen. You know, Evan Mobley. Like I really like this Cavs team. Up next, we got the Warriors. This is probably a no brainer. Either Steph or Clay. If I have to lean one, I would say Steph. Because he's the greatest shooter of all time. Like, come on. He's a metahuman when he's in the playoffs. Always love get Clay. I always love him to this day. He's one of my favorite players. But right now it's Steph. Up next, we got the Bucks. Uh, Dame, Pat Connaughton, or Giannis. I just feel like Giannis is just like he's a ferocious player, man. Up next, we got the Knicks. Jalen Brunson. I really love Jalen Brunson. He's an absolute demon. Like I think he broke like several records on the Knicks side of things during this postseason run. I can't remember, but like yeah, Jalen Brunson. Up next, we got the Rockets. Jeez. I would say Şengün. I really love Alfred Şengün. I think he's a stud. I think Baby Jokic is like deservedly like so. He's a great passer. I think he's gonna be a great player. Şengün's a great player. I love Ime Udoka as their coach. You know, but right now it's Alfred Şengün. Moving on, we got the Magic. Paulo Banchero or Jalen Suggs. I love Franz Wagner, but I love Paulo Banchero. Like he's tough, man. This kid's gonna be something fun to watch. So I would say right now, Paulo Banchero. Up next, we got the Utah Jazz. Yikes. Who's even on the Jazz now? Oh yeah, Jordan Clarkson or Laurie Markkinen. I like either of those players. Walker Kessler's a good name out there. Those are like the three players I like on that Jazz team. Up next, we got the Raptors. Oh yuck. Who's even on the Raptors nowadays? Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent Jr. Like those are the only two players I can name on the top of my head. Up next, we got the Pelicans. There's actually plenty of players. Larry Nance, CJ, because I rock with him to this day, and Zion. I also love Brandon Ingram as well. I love Brandon Ingram as well. So yeah. Moving on, we got the Pacers. Like I said earlier, Tyrese Halliburton, such a great dude. You know, such a great passer, man. If you've seen his passes, man, he's an electric passer, man. But yeah. Next up, we got the Timberwolves. I think this one's a no-brainer. Anthony Edwards. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he said, "Bring your ass to like Charles Barkley." I always watch that clip several times just because it's such a funny clip. But yeah, Anthony Edwards. I also like Mike Conley as well. So next up, we got the Pistons. Oh, geez, Pistons. I'll go Cade Cunningham. I like Cade. Um, yeah, just I like Cade a lot. I like Cade. Next up, we got the Blazers. Who do I like? Scoot, Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant. You know, I would say those three. Like I haven't been keeping up with the Blazers. I'm sorry for that, but yeah. Next up, we got the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Kevin Love. Like I love all those guys. I also love Terry Rozier as well, but I love Jimmy though. Next up, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder. The easy answer would be Chet, but I love SGA. Chet is a great player as well. But I would say Shea. Moving on, we got the 76ers. I might get shit on for this, but I just really love him. I'll go Joel Embiid just because he seems like a really cool dude. Tyrese Maxey is an absolute stud. But either Maxey or Embiid. And then finally, we got the Sacramento Kings. De'Aaron Fox or De'Mon Sabonis are my two favorite players. But yeah, I love Fox. I think he's like quick as a fox, like they say. No pun intended. But De'Mon Sabonis, like he's like a double machine, man. And that is me giving you my favorite players for every single team at this very moment in time. I hope you enjoyed this episode because I enjoyed making it. If you did, please give a like, subscribe, turn that post notification bell. The schedule will hopefully come back to normal starting next week. But with that being said, hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Enjoy games 1 and 2 of the NBA Finals. And until next time, we out. Peace.